Hey YouTube fam, it's your girl Leah back again with another video. In today's video, as you can see from the title, we're gonna just be discussing my beginner YouTuber tips and just the equipment I use. I'm just gonna go through everything that has gotten me to where I've been on YouTube for, we're coming up on 9 years. This year will make 9 years that I've been on this platform. And I wanted to make this video just because a couple weeks ago, we saw what was going down. TikTok was going to get banned, and so many creators were upset. They were nervous, rightfully so, because there's a lot of creators on that platform who TikTok is a big stream of income for them. And losing that, I can understand, would be devastating. A lot of people then realize it might be time to diversify. And going from short form to long form is a little bit more trickier than going from long form to short form, even though I necessarily haven't even conquered that beast of going from long form to short form correctly. However, I wanted to give people an opportunity if they're going from short form to long form, or if they're just getting started in general. This is uncertain times we're in. So getting started with YouTube, even if you've never been on any form of social media, it might be the time, because there is a little bit of liquidity. There's a little bit of money in this platform. We all know this. My highest earning video on this platform has made me, just one video, $12,000. $12,000, which I know on TikTok, you could make one 60-second video and make $12,000 over 60 seconds. However, YouTube, again, made that video 4 years ago, and I've gotten off of that one video just $12,000. That's game changing. That's life changing. That's money to be spent elsewhere. Who could not use that type of money? So I'm going to give you tips and tricks to make content like that, tips and tricks on camera equipment, microphone, all that good stuff. So if you want to start this year, it was on your goals list, you didn't start it in January, but hey, look, we're in February. January was a fluke month. It was a month that had a lot. January kept January, but February is a new month, and maybe you're going to start January, maybe you're going to start Q2. Whenever you start, I started on July 26th, 2016. I didn't start in January. I didn't start, at the end of the year. I started mid-year, right in the dead center of the year. And here we are now. So whenever you want to start, pick up that camera. But let's start with camera. Let's actually start there. What camera are you picking up? Now, my first few videos on this platform, I'd say my first 10 or so, were filmed on an iPad mini. An iPad mini. I still have that iPad mini just for the memories of it. It doesn't have a lot of storage on it. It's not my iPad of life right now. However, it is a memorable device to me. But I'm not kidding when I say start with your phone. Like, so many people feel like, well, no, I got to start with the camera. So I got to buy the camera first. And I haven't even started yet because I don't have the camera. Why? You don't even know if there's something you're going to continue to do. That's why I started with my iPad mini, is because I need to make sure I felt comfortable doing it, and it wasn't going to be something I picked up and then stopped doing 3 months later. Like, I needed to make sure I was going to be consistent. I was going to have a niche. I knew what I was going to talk about. Like, I needed to make sure I was well versed in this thing before I made a bigger investment into this thing. And I still don't think I've made the biggest investment into this, but my vlogs to this day, 90% of the vlogs that you see on this platform are filmed with this. My TikToks, my Reels, those converted over, filmed with this. It's an iPhone mini, iPhone 13 mini. They don't even have the 3 cameras. We still only got the 2 cameras, but it's 4K. I shoot everything that comes out of this in 4K. Why? We spend so much money on the phone in itself. It can be a phone. It can be a device to connect us to other people, but it can also be a good start for a camera. I still use that. I don't use that as my sit-down camera. My sit-down camera, what I'm filming right now, and what I filmed every sit-down video that has been shot on this channel since 2018. I bought this camera in 2018. It is my Canon G7X Mark II. And quite honestly, I've been using it ever since. It's an investment. Yes, I spent $600 on it. People spend thousands on a camera. If I need to buy, knock on wood, I need to buy another camera this year or next year, it's been worth it, because this $600 investment, it's paid for itself over and over again with the consistency that I've given to this channel. I'm a big fan of this camera. If you could see it right now, maybe I'll insert a clip of it. It shows the 6 years of wear and tear. The battery container doesn't close. The sides are coming off of it. But I am a big fan of Canon. It's just kind of a click and play. I don't have to adjust settings. It just naturally has a good level to it. The one con that I wish I had with any of my cameras is I wish I had a blurring background effect. but that's going to take learning lenses and all of that. I'm giving you beginner tips from somebody, again, who I don't feel like you got to throw all the money in the world at the situation. I do also have another camera that I sometimes use. I use this very rarely, considering I bought it and I thought it was going to become my daily use camera, and I still find myself reaching for the Canon, but it is the Sony ZV-1. I think it's an amazing camera. It does shoot in 4K, whereas my G7X Mark II only goes to 1080. You know, I think the Mark III, they have a newer version of my camera that I use, the Mark III. I think that goes up to 4K if you want to shoot in 4K. It takes a lot of memory, but I think this is a great camera as well. I bought this maybe 4 years ago, and I thought, okay, I'm going to stop using my Canon, but the Canon wasn't doing me wrong. Now, Canon wasn't doing me wrong, so I kept with that. I know on social media you probably have seen a lot going around with the DJI Pocket 3. Now, I have the Pocket 2. I bought this, maybe the Pocket 3 had come out, but if so, it wasn't widely talked about as much as it is now. A lot of people love this for a vlogging camera. I enjoy this for vlogging as well. It does have a little screen. The newer version has a bigger screen that can kind of swivel out. I love the stability on this. If you are vlogging out and about a lot and the camera is a little shaky, even if you think your hands are steady, they're not as steady as you think. You still see a little tremble. This has great stabilization. When you're vlogging, you're walking, you're talking, you want things to look, you want it to look you want it to not look shaky. That's all you want. I think the DJI is a good investment. If I hadn't had this, I probably would buy the Pocket 3. It can do whatever you need it to do. It can flip, it can flop. I like the DJI Pocket camera. And then a lot of times you guys ask me when I do my underwater shots what camera I use. This camera is like $60. It is the Ocasio Brave. It might not even be the Brave. This was the Brave, I think. And then I bought the EK7000. Not an amazing camera. Would not suggest this for someone who's trying to shoot content where they're speaking. I think the mic on this is terrible. Terrible, but it's a $60 camera. I only use this for underwater. If I'm going to get into some water, if I'm going to be snorkeling, if anything is happening near water, this is the camera that I choose. And I got it because, again, the investment made sense for my channel. I make a lot of content about best swim-friendly hair. You want to see a hair in water. And so this was able to take you along on that journey. Every camera that I've gotten, I think, made sense for what I need. And that's what you need to make sure when you're buying a camera. It's a big investment. Make sure that the camera makes sense for your needs. And maybe the phone is the camera. And be okay with that. Don't feel like you need a camera. The phone can be the camera. Now, an investment I recently made into my channel is my Blue Yeti mic. I, for a long time, was just using the audio output from the camera, and then this camera's audio output tanked. I'm going to turn off the mic right now, so you're going to be hearing what this camera sounds like right now. So this is what this camera sounds like. Of course, it's been through an issue. It's been through a situation. Switching back over to my mic, that's why I don't use that. That's why I don't use that. But when that happened, I bought a lapel mic for a little bit. I was trying different things. I was recording audio, and I still do a little bit with my iPad just in case my mic goes out at any point. I'm still new to the Blue Yeti, so I still, I don't want to record a whole video and the blue cut out for some reason. I'm not a refilmer. We're going to make do with what we need to make do. Blue Yeti, $99 device. I see a lot of people use those handheld Rode mics. The Rode mics do a great job. If you want to clip it to your lapel, if you do a lot of sit down videos, those are quite an investment. I thought those mics were going to be cheap, honey. They're not cheap. So I just decided Blue Yeti me up, and we are going to go from there. Audio is important. It's important, but to what degree? That's what I was thinking. This is a $99 mic. Do I need $300 worth of sound, or am I getting good feedback, good quality from a $99 mic? And you just need to decide, can people hear me? Am I being heard? Do I need to make that investment? And you, again, every step of the way, you need to make the investment that makes sense to your channel and what kind of content you're creating. In terms of YouTube, there is a difference between TikTok. The background can be crazy. When I say the background, I mean the sounds in the background itself, what's behind you. There's not a level of you need this crispness when it comes to your background. When it comes to YouTube, you do need it. You need distraction free backgrounds. You need to be in a place where people, I find myself this way too, even if you don't have ADHD, when someone has a background that's got a lot going on, I find myself, what's going on back there? What they cooking over there? Is that they stove? Is them Oreos? Do they eat Oreos? Like, I find myself looking in the background of their situation. Make sure your situation is less cluttered. Everything can be seen good. It doesn't have to be pristine, but just find that good space in your home where you can film. And background also, the fire detector. I think in TikTok world, people's fire detectors going off during a video, you might get a little bit of chuckles, but it's not the biggest thing in the world. You can still get a lot of good views on content where the fire detector is constantly going off while you're talking. That can't happen on this platform. Get them batteries. I learned to be a fire detector battery changer by having a platform. I will not let that detector go off for more than 10 minutes. As soon as that first beep happens, oh, get those batteries. I used to have to call someone over to help me change it, but then I realized, you know what? I'm gonna be a big girl and I'm gonna learn how to change these. It's just changing a battery. That's all that beeping is telling me. All that little beep, that little noise, all it's telling me is that you need a new battery. Let me just get a battery and put a new battery in there, because background has to be silent. It can't be a lot of distractions going on background visually and background noise wise on this platform. In this platform, it's very, microphone sound quality matters a lot, a lot, a lot. So you just gonna have to just go ahead and get, it's called a 9V, change that battery, because I can't watch a video. I'm sorry, I cannot watch a video because my ear is too tuned in. My ear is too tuned in. I need to hear what you're saying. And every 60 seconds when that beep is going off, we can't have it. We can't have it. It's a different beast on this platform. And the margin for error in your video is much smaller than it can be on the short form platforms. Now, lighting is the area for beginners I've never been able to help because I use the sun. I don't have lighting behind me, in front of me, nothing is there except for the sun. The sun. So I'm beholden a lot of the times to having to film on sunny days. That can't always be the case. So there are videos I have that are just darker a little bit, and I hate that. So I do try to, I film on Saturday, Sunday because I work full time. I pick a day. So if it's Saturday is a sunnier day than Sunday, I mean, the whole weekend can't be a rain out. Sometimes it can be, but usually I can get a sunny moment. It's the sun's going to peak for 1 second. I use the sun as my lighting. I never, for the years and years I've been on this platform, have been able to crack the code when it comes to lighting. I'm just so terrible at it. I'm just bad. So I've always been a sun girly. I've been able to amass the amount of followings that I have. Make do with what you have. I will link down below my 2 favorite creators who create content about equipment and all that, who can give you some lighting suggestions, because that's the one area I'm not that girl. I'm not that girl. Tripod, I don't think you need to have something super professional. I use an Amazon Basics tripod. I've bought this Basics tripod maybe 3 times. It's broken a couple times. So, it's not the most sturdiest. Let something fall on top of it, it's over. I think the camera just needs to stand. I've never been for $60, $70, but again, it's the content that I make. The content I make doesn't require that kind of tripod. If you make cooking content, you need some overhead shots, you need some elaboracy to your shots, you're going to need a better tripod than this Amazon Basics one. I also have a tripod for my phone. You've seen that several times in several videos. That one travels with me. If I'm shooting content while I'm traveling, that tripod is my travel tripod. This is my stay-at-home tripod, if that makes sense. Also, SD cards. You're going to need some SD cards. So this is a small one. For like a pocket one, you're going to need like a minuscule, microscopic sized SD card. I like this one. It's a 256. I think 256 is a good way. Don't waste your time with a 32 gig. You're not going to have enough space on that, especially depending on what you're filming. If you're filming vlogs, you wasting your money on a 32 gig, a 64 gig. I know those are cheaper. Sometimes the cheap can come out expensive with content. And then a bigger, everyone knows the bigger SD cards as well. This I think is a 128 one. 128, 256, good sizes for SD cards. My preference is a 256. And then you're going to need additional batteries as you're filming. This is going to die at some point. I have batteries. I have backup batteries for my Canon. I have backup batteries for my Sony. I have backup batteries for this. Backup batteries. Just have one, two, and have enough, because I do find myself having to change batteries, especially if I'm filming a longer video, like an hair install video that takes a lot of time, batteries, SD card storage. I do pay Apple that random $9.99 a month, because I do pay for additional storage. You can buy 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes of storage. I create a lot of content where I have to draw back on old videos. So if you ever watch one of my compilation videos, top 10 this, top 12 that, I need to have the 12 others. I need to have the other videos. So I do need storage space for other things, for old content, to draw back on that old content. So I do pay for external storage. You can do it through Apple, Dropbox, Google Storage. But if you do film a lot of content and you need to access that content later, you do need to probably buy that storage. My editing software, I have used LumaFusion for the last 6 years. It was a one-time purchase app at the time I bought it. I don't know if it's still that way, but I spent $19.99, and I used that one time 5 years ago, and I've used that app for every single video you see on this platform. The video you're watching right now, edited on LumaFusion. All the projects I make are on LumaFusion. I don't know how to use, what is it, Apple iMovie, Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, I think are some other ones. Just find what works best for you, because it might be iMovie, it might be Final Cut Pro. I just like the ease of being able to edit on my iPad. I edit every single video on my iPad. I don't edit on my computer. My computer, you might need a computer, but my computer is just a Chromebook, and I use that right now for getting the audio from my microphone. So it is recording my voice. I just use a free software for that. It's just onlinevoicerecorder.com, and that is how my audio sound comes through for you guys. I do have Canva Pro for making thumbnails. I think it's important to get the pro version if you do make a lot of content, if you're a content creator. Now, having said that, a lot of you are like, well, that's a lot of money. I gotta have Canva. I gotta buy LumaFusion. I might have to buy a phone. I might have to buy storage. I have to do all that. The thing is that if you put into YouTube, especially after you've done it for a while, YouTube is gonna give back to you. You know, the money will come. It will come back. It will flow itself out. You know, making that initial investment in my $200 camera, I was taking a risk, because I could have never saw that $200 come back. I've made that $200 10, 20, 40, 50, 60, 100 times over at this point. So reward is always going to come with a little bit of an investment. And that's what I'll say. Now, in terms of tips and tricks of creating the content, I need to say this. You need to be mindful of whether you're creating evergreen content or popular in the moment content, I'll call it. So when I created this platform, I didn't know the difference between evergreen. I didn't know what I was creating. I was creating hair content. I did not know a lot of my content would be deemed evergreen content. And what evergreen content is content that's going to be on this platform and searchable for years and years to come. Whereas popular in the moment content. So popular in the moment content, and creators who will do a fabulous job at creating that, I'd say you're like Kempire. If you follow Kempire, I love Kempire. He is a blogger. He follows like the latest episodes of Real Housewives of Potomac, what's going on in Beverly Hills, what's going on in Married to Medicine. Like, he does episode by episode recaps of that show. However, Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, that's going to be an episode. We might not care about what happened at the reunion season 10 4 or 5 years from now, but right now it's popular. He's going to get hundreds of thousands of views on that right now because it's popular in the moment. I create a little bit of both, but I'd say 80% of my content is evergreen, 20% is popular in the moment. And my evergreen content is what really helps my channel more than anything. Evergreen content is like my most popular video. My most popular video on this channel, though, when I created it, it was not meant to be an evergreen content. It was June of 2020. We know what was going on. It was pandemic time. We were maybe 3 months into the pandemic, and I needed curtains. I was looking around the house, looking at the four walls, stuck in my apartment, and I was like, I need some curtains. I need to do things. Like, I have not left this home. I need curtains. Everything is content. Baby, everything is content. Life is content. Let me film me putting up these curtains. Let me film me putting up these curtains. Now, at the time when I was putting up those curtains, this outside of my normal content. My normal content is hair. And I got comments on that video. This girl doing curtains now. Now she doing curtains. Like, I was getting joked. I was getting ragged on a little bit. And it was outside of my normal realm, but I said, hey, look, everything is content. I put that video up, probably only got like 200 views in the first month. Maybe got 200 views. Maybe not 200 views in the first month. Maybe got 200 views in the first day, though. That's bad for me. 200 views in the first day, we're not doing too good right there. And then it grew. And then it grew. And then it grew. Over time, it just kept growing. Kept growing, kept growing. And then that video, to this date, has made me $12,000. $12,000. If I look at my analytics, this is pulled from YouTube. $12,000 in total. Now, I didn't get $12,000 at one moment. That's over the 4 years, because we're coming to go 5 years that video has been uploaded. 5 years ago, that video was posted, and I've made $12,000. And that might be $1,000 one month, $500, $200, $27 one month. But that video every month is passively making me income, and I filmed it one time thinking I'm just doing something. That is evergreen in the sense that people are going to look up how to make curtains today, tomorrow, the next week. It's not like caring about the trailer of Real Housewives of Atlanta coming out. I care about that today. I'm not going to care about season 14 trailer of Real Housewives of Atlanta in 2028. I hope I'm not, unless this is about to be the best season ever and we're going to reference this all the time. I'm probably not. I might need to know how to hang up curtains in 2028. That's not a skill that people are going to stop. I think we're still going to have curtains 10 years from now. I think we're still going to do that thing. So that's evergreen content. And that's what a lot of my content is. I do a lot of hair reviews. Maybe you don't want the hair today. Maybe you don't want it tomorrow. But there might be a time in 2028 where you're like, what was Talia's thoughts on that hair? And you'll watch that video later on down the line. You might not be wondering what hair is water friendly today because it's February and you're not thinking about a vacation. You're not going anywhere. But in April or May or June, when you got a vacation coming up, you might be looking for vacation styles. And so that is what evergreen content is. You need to decide. You don't need to fully decide on a niche, but you need to decide if your content is going to be that more evergreen, flow. I think evergreen is very passive for me because all I have to do is upload it one time and then I'm done. I think if you're going to lean more into popular in the moment, we're going to talk about hot topics, you're going to get a lot, but it's going to be for that day, that week, that month, and it's not going to be popular. If I talk about hot topics, popular in the blogs, what the Shade Room is reporting on today, you can still do very, very well, but you're going to have to be consistent at it. Whereas evergreen, you still need to be consistent, but that content can speak for itself. And what I mean is, if I look at my top, I'm going to screenshot this right now so I don't forget later because this changes very often. But my top content in the last 28 days. So not TikTok. YouTube will tell you what video are people watching more frequently in the last 28 days. My number one video right now is why I won't be trying QVR hair. People are curious. I made that video 6 months ago. So in the last 28 days, people are watching a video I made 6 months ago. Great. My number two video is how to hang those curtains. That video is never going to go down. That video stays in my top 5. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for that video that I thought at the time seemed silly, seemed crazy. It's always in the top 5. My number 3 video is the Bobbi Boss Pineapple Deep Hair. Now, that's maybe a month old. So it's not as old as the How to Hang Curtains. So it's a lot more recent. So this is in the moment. I say this is in the moment hotness right now. Why you should do crochet hair in 2025 video, that I just uploaded that as I'm recording this 5 days ago. So it's popular right now because it's popular. Right, I just uploaded it. And then the Free Tress Beach Curl review video, uploaded that 2 years ago. So I have a good mixture of, I just uploaded it. My top 5 right now, 2 videos I just uploaded in the last, month. 1 video in the last 6 months. 2 videos are over 2 years old. You get what I'm saying? So it's a combination of evergreen, but I'm also always making content. There's 2 videos up a week. So make sure you understand, hey, am I making content that's relevant and gonna be relevant? Because being relevant comes with, $12,000 of passive income. I'm just saying. Or am I making hot in the moment vid content, which is going to maybe mean $12,000 in one day, in 1 month? You got to figure out what you're doing. Other things that I think are important are responding to comments. You have to engage with your audience. You can't be, all right, see you later, and never respond. I got a response on a comment I left on a video 6 years ago, a couple days ago. I'm not going to call out the creator, but 6 years ago, I left that comment. She responded 2 weeks ago. The video ain't have but 5 comments in it. Okay? I'm one of 5 comments. You couldn't respond to me until 6 years later. Like, you're not engaging with your audience. And that means you're also not drawing inspiration from that. I'm in those comments, not just to respond, but to see what you guys are asking. Because about half of the content I create is based off of what you guys are asking. Some of it is pulled from YouTube Analytics, because YouTube Analytics does a great job of showing what's popular. What are people searching on Google? Google owns YouTube. Oh, YouTube and Google are one. They are search engines. So it can pull what people are searching for and give me recommendations, but I also pull from you guys' questions and make content based on that. And sometimes I have, the third element is me just coming up with random ideas. So random ideas, your questions, and then what YouTube recommends I create content around. So be in those comments, if nothing else, to draw inspiration, but also engage with your audience. Like, you're never too good to engage with your audience. I don't care what size you are. I just don't understand when no one responds to the comments. You can't respond to 5% of the comments. Do you care enough about this? What are you doing this for? Is my question. I know people hate to hear this because they want to be able to say, I upload when I want to upload. But a steady schedule and consistency matter on this platform. You're never going to tell me it doesn't. You're never going to tell me it doesn't. I have uploaded since the beginning of 9 years ago, every Monday, Wednesday. I used to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then it was like, girl, you're doing too much. You doing too much. There's not enough time in the week to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I have done Monday, Wednesday from the beginning of times, and I've never stopped that. That's the schedule that works for me. I'm like a TV show. People need to know when I'm coming on. They don't need to be like, dang, she uploaded a video February 1st. I ain't seen her since, and it's February 18th. No, you need to know if it's February 1st, what is the next day? Probably February 7th, February 14th, February 21st, and then February 28th. Every 1 week from that date, because I consistently post. You don't have to do 2 times a week, even if it's just once a week. If it's Mondays, make it Mondays. If it's Sundays, make it Sundays. I would try to avoid like a Friday night or a Saturday night. So if you're going to do Friday or Saturday at 7, it's not going to be good. You also want times when people are going to be at home and more eligible or available to watch that content. That's why I do Monday, Wednesdays at 6:15. I staggered a little bit, 6:15, only because you're off of work if you're on the East Coast. You're off of work if you're Central Standard Time, because it's after 5 a little bit. I'm capturing, if you wake up, or if you're getting off of work later, I'm trying to capture the most of my audience. So think about that. Times, when are you online yourself? Think of your audience as you. If I'm online a lot at this point, are they going to be online? And am I going out for dinner with my friends on Saturday nights and not thinking about YouTube? Yes, I'm not thinking about YouTube Saturday nights. So I don't post when I'm not on. If I'm not on, I'm assuming y'all not on, and I'm not going to post at that time. So think about a schedule and think about the consistency. Consistency is what kills people on this platform. That's why I see people struggle. I see somebody upload a video in January, don't come back until March. And trust me, I understand life can happen. Life happens to the best of us. So if you have the best intentions on being consistent and posting on a regular schedule and it just doesn't happen, I get it. But you also, on the flip side, need to understand it is going to greatly impact your channel, unfortunately. And if you're okay with that, you're okay with that. But if you're like, man, I want to grow, but I can only upload once a month, it's gonna be a little challenging. You're gonna have some challenges with that. And if you do still have a desire to post on all platforms, so long form and short form, my suggestion is all my videos are always filmed landscape. They're always filmed landscape because my primary platform is YouTube. However, making the transition to going to Instagram, I realized, oh, I need to film like this. Oh, my videos need to be vertical now, but I can't capture a moment twice. There's sometimes I can capture things twice. I can switch the camera. I can film it one time and landscape. I can flip the camera around and I can do it in vertical. But there are some moments that are one time. They're only going to happen one time. I'm only going to one time get this drink and I'm going to be with this. Like, I'm going to have this moment one time. I can't replicate. I can't repop the bubbles in two different landscapes. I think I prioritize, because I'm a creator, I prioritize landscape, and then in my mind, everything can be cut to vertical as long as everything is within the lines of this. So you got to keep it this way. I prioritize landscape, and then I can morph landscape into vertical. It's impossible, not impossible, but taking vertical and making it landscape, it's hard without having those two little lines on the side. You're gonna have two little lines on the side of the screen, and it's gonna look weird. But taking horizontal and making it vertical is a bit easier. So decide how you're gonna film. If you are going to do short form and you've been used to short form, filming horizontal is going to be difficult. If you're used to filming horizontal, shooting vertical is going to be different. But I found that, if I'm eating at a restaurant, if I'm doing something in my vlogs and I know I'm going to put it on both platforms, it might be easy to shoot twice, do two different sides. If it's not, though, my priority is landscape, and I'll figure out how to cut it to vertical later. And my last tip is promote. You're gonna have to promote. You're not gonna be able to post and pray on here. You're not gonna be posting and be like, oh, I hope people find it. Promote yourself. It works for some people. I'm gonna say it. There's some videos I found on this platform on YouTube where I'm like, how did that get to me? I think it's so cool. Like, how did they grow? Like, how did you know? They made a topic that intrigued me, and I found them that way. However, that is not going to be the case. That's not going to be a case for a lot. So you're going to need to promote on other socials. And also remember in that promotion that your friends might not necessarily be your target audience. I see so many people get upset when their friends don't engage with every single piece of content that they make. And I was never that way, because from the get-go, I knew I was making crochet hair content. All my friends don't wear crochet hair. And so making them watch a 10-minute video or 12-minute video, to me, could they? Sure. However, I wasn't going to get to 10,000 subscribers by just my friends. I was going to maybe get to 5, but I wasn't going to get to 10,000. I needed people who were not my friends to engage with me. And I think we get so caught up in, well, my friend's not supporting me. My friend's not buying this, or they're not doing this. A like is free. To your point, a like is a share is free, but expecting more than that is a lot. Expecting them to watch every single video, engage in every single piece of content we make, is not gonna get you to the 100,000 subscribers. Your friends are not your core audience. You need to find your core audience, and you need to go after them, promote to them, gain their trust. I know my friends, I have incredible friends. So they watched my content all the time. They were some of my first few views, but I was really like, but I love that and I appreciate that, but I want to get my own audience. Like, I feel almost like it's a pity watch. Like, now I'm like talking to them, just my friends, and it's like, but I want an audience and I want to grow an audience. And I think you need to realize, again, promotion of your content, if it's good, it's going to get to who it needs to get to. The eyes that need to see it are going to see it. And if it's for them, it'll show up on their For Them page. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'm all ears and eyes down in that comment section. While you're down there, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Give it a big thumbs up even if you didn't enjoy it. We want all the love and support over here on this channel, as well as we want you to subscribe so you don't miss a thing we do over here, and have that notification bell on so you're assured you don't miss a thing we do over here. Make sure that you are following me on Instagram at LeahLevon89 to keep up with my shenanigans in real time. TikTok at Leah Levon, which is a few more shenanigans in a bit more real time. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.